with a 25% score on Rotten Tomatoes. I don't know why I watched this film. I thought it was an A24 movie, and it wasn't. It was Blumhouse. It is me mostly, Carl. I never know what to say for this. So I thought this movie was an A24 film. It turns out it wasn't. It was a Blumhouse movie, which instantly dropped its quality by about 3 points. It's got a 24% score on Rotten Tomato at the moment. It's imaginary. The film isn't imaginary. The film is called Imaginary, the Blumhouse movie. It's sort of a cut and paste movie of all Blumhouse movies. You'll find that as we go through the film. It feels very Blumhouse-esque, which... if you're into that stuff, that's fine. That's your prerogative. It isn't my thing. I ain't a Blumhouse guy, necessarily. I like some of their early work. This ain't it for me. It starts, like a lot of these Blumhouse movies, with a flashback / dream. We got a double whammy in this one. It's a bit of both. We get Jessica, who's the main character. It's a flashback to her, sort of. She's an adult in this flashback. That's not how flashbacks work, but in this case, it does work that way. She... is running around, ooh, scary, being chased by something. And it turns out she's being chased by her dad. She gets upstairs, you can hear the rumblings of her dad, and then she finds a tooth. The tooth is really important, but it only makes sense on the third or fourth watch. I don't know if they did that on purpose, so you have to watch it multiple times, or it's just not very well written and scripted. So by the time you watch through the full movie, you've forgotten about the tooth. But the tooth is there. The tooth, she really stares at the tooth for like a couple of seconds, but not long enough for it to stick in the old melon. This movie is dark, and I don't mean scary dark. I don't mean like frightening dark. I mean physically it is difficult to watch because it is pitch black. Only the bits where it's not night. Some of it's night, but not all of it's night. Sometimes they're just downstairs in like a basement or in like a dark area, and it's pitch black, and you cannot work out what the shit knuckle is going on because of that. And as I say, it was obviously all a dream. This like opening bit where she's being chased by her dad. It's all a dream. And she wakes up next to her rock star boyfriend, which doesn't come up for a little bit, but he's a rock star. And they talk about moving to her childhood home. That's kind of the crux of what the plot is kind of build up on. That's the precipice of the beginning of the plot, because I don't know his name. He's not in it for very long. He's very unimportant. Her teen stepdaughter, can't remember her name either. That's on me though, not on the actress. That's on me this time. And the main sort of daughter, the one that the story revolves around, which is called, I've written it down, it's called Allison, young Allison. I wrote young Allison like I'm an old young Allison. Are you young Allison? And moving back home to her childhood home, which who does that? Maybe I think in America it doesn't happen here. I got given the option of moving to my childhood home. I was like, no, get rid of that. I don't want to taint the memories. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? And this is the beginning of the plot. Okay, so Allison finds a teddy in the basement. Why she's in the basement? Don't ask me. Allison finds a teddy and she goes to show Jessica, and it's her imaginary friend, her new imaginary friend. She didn't have one when she was moving. They put it down to the fact she's moving house and a bunch of other stuff. The bear is called Chansey or Channy. I can't pronounce his name. I think it's Chansey. Allison starts talking to a new imaginary friend non-stop. Chansey Bear, non-stop. She will not shut up to this goddamn bear. Will not quiet down. She will not keep it quiet. Which is fine. I don't think I had an imaginary friend. I don't know. It's never been one of these things that I've never asked about it. I should probably ask. Chansey Bear makes Allison do I feel like the mum should be called Allison. It just feels like an older lady name, but apparently Allison starts doing a scavenger hunt told to her by Chansey Bear. The dad is still here, by the way. He's just sort of in the background. Told to her by Chansey Bear. And one of the things she has to go find from this scavenger hunt, it's like a list of 2 pages, 2 sides of a page. One of them is happiness, or something that makes you happy, I think it was, something of that nature. Jessica, who's an artist in this, paints a little happy face on a tennis ball and gives her that. Is that a tennis ball? What's that? Pickleball? It's a pickleball ball. Never seen pickleball in my life. I know of it because of TikTok and maybe like a I think it's in Loud. Somebody references it in Loudermouth. She says, "Go! I need something happy." She paints a little happy face on the ball and gives it to Thingy. We get the standard Blumhouse thing of a noise coming from the basement. Oh, I don't know what the noise is. So we go down the basement, creak, 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 and it's the ball that she just painted. I'm 99% sure it's a pickleball ball. Also saying the word pickleball ball feels wrong. She finds the ball, and this time like the face has been wiped off, and there's been a sad face. We also see another like a standard Blumhouse. The guy loves doors. We got the red door. We got some bitch and a key. Is that the name of the film? Some key bitch. He loves doors. That's all he cares about. Insidious, it's doors. This film, doors. You know what's weird? I don't think he's ever used The Doors as a song. Like people are strange when you're a stranger. He should use that. It's a good song. It would be such a good song in a horror movie. She hears some noise upstairs. Jessica hears some noise upstairs. And it is Alison. She thought Alison was in the basement. She's not in the basement. Alison's upstairs having a tea party with Chansey Bear. And she hears like another voice, another woman's voice. And she's like, oh my God. And the what happens next annoys me, but what happens next just agitates me even more. There's a scene where she's like, here is a jam donut. The British call them scones.
It's a donut from England. Across the pond they pronounce it scone.
We don't. Different. They're not the same thing. You're thinking of cookies and biscuits, which a cookie is a biscuit, but a biscuit isn't always a cookie, right? We just got better biscuits than you. That's all it is. Sorry, guys. And then she gets attacked by what we think is going to be like just a creepy ghost person, but it's not. It's the two girls' mum attacks them. Chow! Karate chops. She full on like ninjas out of the room as well. It is scary. It's a jump scare moment. But it turns out that the teen daughter, that I don't remember the name of, the teen daughter has given the unhinged mum, the unhinged mum, her address, and now she's unhinged and in her house, which is the two things I do not want in my house. Is an unhinged mum. Maybe, I don't know. Gloria, the next door neighbor / babysitter of Jessica. Now Jessica swears down. She would put money on the fact she never had an imaginary friend. Gloria's like, nah, bitch, you had one, right? You talked to her all the time. You were so creative. You had this imaginary friend. You were so creative.
Everybody's so creative.
She just harps on about this imaginary friend. The little girl comes over and she's basically like, go eat dirt, little girl. How she was like babysitter, I have no idea. But she's like, go eat dirt, little girl. I'm talking here. And all of that. Jessica is like, I'm going to go see my dad. Because her dad's still alive, but he's like in a coma. He's always like semi-comatose. She goes to the hospital, sees her dad, and nothing really happens. It's a very null and void scene. The only reason that scene is even there is to get the daughter and the teen daughter and the girl alone to get some spooky moments in. And this is what we're going to get. So the teen daughter calls a boy over. And he comes over with a big bag of pills that are like antihistamines. And says, oh, let's go drink. He smashes the bottle immediately. He smashes the dad's bottle of whiskey on the floor. The daughter's like, go grab some towels from upstairs. And we do get, to be honest with you, a really good scene where there's like a string of Chansey. Chansey's never had a string before, but we get like a string of Chansey, and there's this long drawn out scene. It's the only thing that's worth watching this film for, is this long drawn out scene where we get our first proper jump scare and a proper look of what Chansey may or may not look like, sort of, where he becomes this huge bear and attacks the shit out of him and scares the crap out of this kid. So at least we know that the imaginary friend of Chansey is like visible, okay? Huge commotion. Now that the teen boy has run out of the house and Jessica has to scorn the two girls. By the way, the dad's went on a gig or something. He's goosed off. He's gone. He's gone skis. So we don't see him again, I don't think. I think he's on the phone sometimes, but we don't see him again really very often. We see Jessica console Alice for a little bit. There's I didn't mean to tell anybody off, but I had to. Like, it was a situation. I don't hate like being the bad guy. It's the stepmom thing. Like, stepmoms, I've very split down the middle of like, I want to be your best bud, your best friend, or I'm a Disney villain. And that's the two flavours in cinema. Sorry. Alison's under a blanket and Jessica is like consoling her. Like, I'm sorry for doing such a thing. We hear little noises from Alison of like little kid laughing or whatever. And then she hears Alison outside. So she pulls the blanket off. It's fucking Chansey, which is not weird. I've done it. I did it literally about a month ago where I put a pillow in my bed so it looked like it was in my bed. It's hilarious. As a 34-year-old man, I still do that joke. I find it funny. It's up there. It's like top 10 jokes. Watch Mojo, top 10 pranks. Jessica looks outside and there's Alison with a wooden board. She's like hovering a hand over it. We saw on the note one of the things was, on like the scavenger list, one of the things was to hurt yourself, essentially. To prove yourself to Chansey that you're the best or something, I don't know. So she goes to hit her hand on the nail and somehow Jessica goes from upstairs in this like split second. Jessica's from upstairs. She like teleports like some sort of anime, Dragon Ball Z style. She's there. Pushes Alison out of the way. She doesn't hurt herself. Thank God for that. She kind of scraps herself. We get if we've got like a bingo board for for this. This is the Blumhouse bingo board of things. They get a professional in. They get a psychologist in. It fits the bingo board perfectly. You got doors and you got psychologists. This is how you do a goddamn Blumhouse movie. The therapist sets up a room to interview Alison, sets up a camera, which I don't know if that's normal. I presume it's because it's a kid, it's normal. I've never been to a therapist, but you don't see them in adult therapists, so probably like a safety thing. So they film all of that, and it starts to get a bit weird because Alison, who's got a voice for Chansey, which is just her voice, but
Chauncey need Alice be brave. Chauncey keep Alice safe.
it looks like it hurts. Chansey, it's a bit red rum.
Red.
Chansey. The Chansey starts saying awful things about the therapist's grandkids.
And your 3 ugly granddaughters.
And then she turns around and her mouth is not moving when Chansey's talking. It is, to be honest, it is a bit creepy. It's creepy. Wouldn't say it's scary. It's airing on the valves of creepy, which is completely wiped away of all the creepiness because of the next bit, where she like ushers Alison out of the room and she gets Jessica over and like, Jessica, listen here. Your daughter, she picked up any new hobbies recently?
Has Sally's taken up any new hobbies lately?
Like ventriloquism?
Ventriloquism.
Ventriloquism?
Completely takes you, like, it was scary until you go, oh yeah, she could have learned ventriloquism, I guess. Maybe she's developed a new hobby. She's like, no, we've got no hobbies. No hobbies allowed in this house. If you've got a hobby, it's a job now. That's you know, it's the ADHD rules. So she's like, right. Was it Chansey the bear? She's like, what do you mean Chansey the bear? She's like, Chansey the bear. She took Chansey the bear in with her. She's like, I don't fucking see a bear. There was no bear there. She had just an imaginary friend. She's like, I don't fucking know what it was. She's like, yeah, it's a bear. That she took a teddy bear in with you. She's like, there's no goddamn teddy bear. She gets the camera out, flips it around. She's like, boom, here's proof. And there's like a couple of seconds where you don't see diddly squat because Alison is like stood in front of the bit where the bear would be. And then she moves out and it's a full M. Night Shyamalan level twist. We get the Shyamalama Ding Dong level twist right now, where we are just, there's no bear. I swore there was a bear. The teenage boy saw a bear, right? I saw a bear, you saw a bear, everybody saw a bear, okay?
There was never any bear.
We all saw a bear, baby. But Jessica's like, shit, now I gotta work out what is this bear. And she's like, I'm gonna look at my gosh darn drawings. She flicked through the drawings, and like in the little corner of a little page, there's a little, maybe a bear. Is it a bear? It could be a bear. Is it a bear? Oh, it's a bear, yeah. And then she turns to the next page, and it's just bears. There's pages between this, but there's just, by the entrance, it's just bears everywhere. There's fucking bears here, there's bears in the park. Just a full page of bears. There's bears everywhere. She's like, oh crap, it's the same bear. What is going on? Why have we got the same imaginary bear? Alison's gone missing. That's the headline now. We don't know where Alison is. She's gone. She's gone Z. Jessica runs out. Teen that I don't remember the name of runs out. We're going to search the white picket fence. The teen runs into Gloria, who's like, I can help. I know exactly where Alison is. Follow me. And the teen's like, what do you mean? So she follows him, and she does the dump, the info dump, the Blumhouse info dump of like, it's not an imaginary friend, it's a ghost, it's always a ghost, it's a Blumhouse movie. She could have just went, did you not see the first 5 minutes of the goddamn film? It's a Blumhouse movie. It's a ghost. Obviously it's a ghost. You stupid. Ghost that was your friend when you were a kid. That's the signature of a Blumhouse movie. M. Night Shyamalan's got weird twists. Oz is ghost, baby ghost. You were a child, you knew a ghost. So Jessica goes back home because she's like, I know what it is. She like clicks on without the Gloria's help. So Jessica starts writing the list that she tries to remember the list from when she was a kid because she realizes it's the same bear and the list is important somehow. And Gloria explains that list is proof to the fandom ghost bear that you are good enough to cross into imaginary land. So they're like, right, we've got to do it again. We've got to do the list again. Goes to the basement where the door is. It's a blue door this time. Now the red door, you got to remember there's two different doors. They're like the pills in the Matrix. You got a red pill, a red door, and a blue door. You got to pick your thing, but they're essentially the same thing. So they do the thing. There's some crap to make it difficult, but they get through into the imagination land. It's Monsters Inc. Okay, it's Monsters Inc. Now, okay, they just made its doors everywhere. Okay, That's what they've done. They've just looked at Monsters Inc. and went do 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 do, like the opening of Monsters Inc. should have played right now. They start looking for Alison, should I say? And while they're like occupied, Gloria shuts the door. They jammed up the door to make sure nobody could get out. The door shut. They're trapped in the imaginary land now. Imagination world. Great. Fuck. We've got to get our way out. Gloria's like, no, I am where I'm meant to be. Chancey's been talking to me for nigh on 30 years. He said that we should be here, okay? We are now here. She's immediately killed. Doesn't make a difference. She was just an excuse. I think they wanted to show like how powerful Chancey was, but it just makes her seem like she was unimportant to the plot. Which she was. She was the Blumhouse special of she was the info dump. She's the info dumper. They're looking through the doors, and it becomes Monsters Inc. again. You know, they open a door. It's a room from Jessica's past. They open another door. It's a room from the teenage girls. There is a good scene in here where it's a room from, like an empty room from the beginning of the film when they first move into the house, and there's like crap paint on the walls, and like it's just not being looked after. And there's a photograph of the Chancey Bear and a silhouette light of Chancey Bear. And I think if they touch, Chancey Bear will come out and eat them. But you don't really see that. She turns it off before that because there's a dead Alison that she has to stop. And she stops dead Alison. The teenage girl, by the way, that is. So then they go through room from room. Jessica finds the room that Alison's in, and so does the teen girl. They have a little fight with Chancey Bear. Chancey Bear brings the actual mom in, who's like now sane. And Jessica says, well, if imagination works here, it'll work. We can make a new door. So she starts sticking blue stuff, again, blue door. She starts sticking blue stuff to the door, to the wall, making a new door. And they like have to imagine the door open, essentially. So they imagine the door open. They open it. The two girls go through. Oh, everything's fine, except for Jessica gets eaten by the floor. She literally gets eaten by the floor. It's not like Jumanji. She goes all the way through the floor, and then she's just in the hallway. She gets out. Yay! And then they just rip off Caroline. She thinks she's out, and she's like, "Oh, my life is so perfect now. Look at all these things." And then she goes to the doctors, and the dad's better now because I don't know, Chancey's dead or something. I don't know. The dad's fine. The kids are fine. The father of the /husband is fine. Everyone's fine now, except for they've got like weird doll eyes all of a sudden, like Coraline. And then the teenage girl hits herself in the head, hits the fake version of her in the head, and saves Jessica. That's it. That's the end. They work out. Everything's fine. Nothing really bad happens except for Gloria's dead. Chancey's not dead. He's just sort of trapped into the thing. There's like an after credits scene that doesn't happen after the credits where Chancey's not dead, but like it's unimportant. It's not really needed to be there. They could have just dumped it. I didn't like the film. Honestly, I really didn't. I can see why it's got a 25% Rotten Tomatoes. It was dull and repetitive, and it felt the same as any Blumhouse. The only Blumhouse film I can ever say is like stands up there as like a really good one is Oculus. And the worst part of that is it's made with WWE Productions. So this is just another one of them films where I'm like, this is not good. This is not a good movie. Why are we making another one of these? And I say the biggest problem I have with it is the fact that it's the same. It's not a different movie to Insidious. It's almost identical, beat-wise, to Insidious. And we always take the mick out of M. Night Shyamalan for doing the same film over and over again. But Blumhouse is doing it, and doing it worse to a point that it is just the same movie. It's not like M. Night is like, oh, we're sick of the twists. That's fine. But Blumhouse is just making the same movie with the same twists, or borrowing twists from other movies, and nobody bats an eyelid at that. And you know what the worst part of it is? It cost 10 million to make, and it made 40 million. So they're going to make another one. There's a sequel on its way, I bet already. Keep milking that cash cow, Blumhouse. You dingleberries. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. My light went off halfway through the video and I didn't even notice. Hope you enjoyed the video. Do the follow, subscribe thing. Please subscribe and follow. Don't forget, I stream every week on Twitch, twitch.tv/mortalcall. That's the best place to find me 99% of the time anyway. To be honest with you, enjoy.